These are the 7 most powerful men in China. They represent the top leadership positions of the ruling Communist Party. Their identities revealed every 5 years at a carefully choreographed political event called the National Congress. The order of appearance is symbolic. The first person to emerge is the head of the party for the next 5 years. At the most recent Congress in October 2022, that person was Xi Jinping, China's president for the last decade, who walked out in the top spot a historic 3rd time after removing the presidential term limit that once restricted all his predecessors to 2 terms. A clear signal that he may plan to stay in power for life. The world hasn't seen a Chinese leader like this since Mao Zedong, the revolutionary founder of the People's Republic of China, whose dictatorship scarred the Chinese people for generations. Xi has been compared to Mao often, and indeed, he draws from Mao's playbook. But there's something else that connects them. When Xi was just a boy, Mao destroyed his life. Generations apart, their paths crossed. A teenage Xi from an elite Beijing family was sent into exile, condemned to years of hard labor in the countryside. 50 years later, he would become one of the most powerful men in the world, the only Chinese leader since Mao to hold unchecked power. So how did Xi go from being banished in his own country to taking complete control of it? Xi Jinping's connection to Mao began long before he was born. During the bloody Chinese Civil War, Mao's communist revolutionaries fought the ruling Nationalist Party. Outnumbered and surrounded, the communists launched a desperate escape, a historic retreat known as the Long March. Tens of thousands died, but it marked Mao's rise to ultimate power. Among the revolutionaries who aided him was Xi Zhongxun, Xi Jinping's father. This alliance would later define both of their destinies. When Mao finally triumphed and founded the People's Republic of China in 1949, he ruled with absolute control. Those loyal to him, including Long March veterans like Xi's father, rose to power as party elites. But Mao's brutal purges and disastrous policies led to famine, persecution, and the deaths of tens of millions. During the Cultural Revolution, Mao's paranoia consumed the country. Even his closest allies were denounced and imprisoned. Xi's father was publicly humiliated by the Red Guards, imprisoned for 8 years, and his teenage son, Xi Jinping, was sent to live in a cave, forced to survive on hard labor and scarce food. And yet, Xi would later join the very party that destroyed his family. Because in China's system, power is everything. Without it, you are nothing. After Mao's death in 1976, Deng Xiaoping rose to power. He reformed China's economy, opened it to the world, and introduced collective leadership to prevent another dictatorship. Under Deng's open-door reforms, China entered a golden age of economic growth and avoided the chaos that defined Mao's rule. But while Deng's generation shared power, Xi was quietly building his own. He worked in rural provinces, far from Beijing's political battles, rising step by step, from Hebei to Fujian to Zhejiang and finally Shanghai. He built networks in both the army and the party. By 2007, Xi joined the Politburo Standing Committee, the 7-man council that truly rules China. 5 years later, in 2012, he became the General Secretary, the supreme leader of the Communist Party. Once in power, Xi began an anti-corruption campaign, a sweeping purge that removed hundreds of officials and conveniently eliminated his rivals. He filled the government and military with loyalists. Within years, Xi had consolidated power unseen since Mao. In 2021, he introduced a new historic resolution, placing Xi Jinping thought at the heart of communist ideology. Just like Mao's Mao Zedong thought, Xi's ideas are now beyond challenge. Under Xi's rule, China's economy has doubled, its military has expanded, and its global influence has grown. But so has its repression, from surveillance and censorship to the persecution of minorities. When the COVID protests erupted, they marked the first real public challenge to Xi's authority. Yet weeks later, at the 20th Party Congress, he walked out again, alone at the top, a 3rd time as China's supreme leader. Today, Xi Jinping stands as the most powerful figure in China since Mao. And like Mao before him, he may remain there for life. This is The Rise of Xi Jinping, presented in the storytelling style of World in Time. History doesn't just repeat, it evolves. History repeats itself. Don't just watch it, be part of it. Subscribe to World in Time and discover the past like never before.